No More Late Fees podcast. I'm Jackie.
And I'm Danielle, and we're just two best friends and ex-Blockbuster employees rewatching some of the best and worst movies from the late 90s and early 2000s. This week, we are talking about one of my favorite movies from 2001, the comedy Bridget Jones's Diary. And I know that it's about to get slaughtered, but I don't care.
I'm really excited that Gwen is here to help us.
Welcome, Gwen.
Hey, thanks. I was going to start reading out loud the intro while you were reading it out loud. But I was like, Gwen, don't be obnoxious. Stop it. Don't be obnoxious. Don't do it. Don't be impulsive. Don't be impulsive. Don't be like Bridget. Don't be an impulsive talker. Speaking of ADHDers, anyway.
But before we dive in, let's get into some housekeeping. That wasn't
so
my...
well.
Is it? Because I heard my... Okay, sure.
I think we did really well.
Do it again. I'll join you.
Okay.
Ready? Everyone?
But before we dive in, let's get into some housekeeping. If you love the podcast and you want to support us, here are a few ways that you can.
Did you know writing a review and or rating us helps us get more listeners? If you want to be featured and help us grow, head to Apple, Spotify, Podchasers, Good Pods, or your favorite podcasting platform and leave us a review.
And there's a review for us.
We have a review this week.
Oh, it's a really good one.
Oh, I'm so excited. It's from our delicious Kai Bobby. Yay!
Love you, Kai.
Love Kai Bobby. They titled this I'm Here For It, gave us 5 stars. I can't with y'all on this hot chick episode. Ha. But I will anyways, because you're friggin' great. It is truly a painfully memorable movie, and you both honored all of its bonkersness and problematicness brilliantly. Y'all are always so present with each other and take such great care of your guests. Aww. Please don't ever stop, even when Blockbuster is even more irrelevant. Emoticon with the tongue sticking out. I appreciate how much you put into the show. Thanks for the laughs.
Aww,
and then,
yay! And there's like some weird characters at the end.
Yeah. Did not translate into
I think it didn't translate. It was a failed emoji. That's such a sweet review.
Hi, Bobby is from the Rotten Treasure podcast. Go take a listen to them. And
Jim, his co-host, they're both hilarious, and they are improv buddies, and they just, we definitely had a great time being on the show. Can't wait. They are going to get us National Treasure too at some point in life. So that's all. I can't wait.
But
either.
If you want to be notified of our new episodes, you've got to make sure you subscribe so that you can keep up with us.
And if you want exclusive content, stickers, lives, and access to our Burned Aughts playlist, head over to patreon.com/nomorelateFees and become a Patreon bestie.
And we're going to dive in to Bridget Jones's Diary and give a little synopsis if you've never heard of this movie for some reason. At the start of the new year, 32-year-old Bridget, played by Renée Zellweger, decides it's time to take control of her life and start keeping a diary. Now, the most provocative, erotic, and hysterical book on her bedside table is the one she's writing. With a taste for adventure and an opinion on every subject, from exercise to men to food to sex and everything in between, she's turning the page on a whole new life. The movie stars Renée Zellweger, Colin Firth, Hugh Grant, Jim Broadbent, and Gemma Jones. And it was directed by Sharon Maguire, written by Richard Curtis, Andrew Davies, and Helen Fielding, who wrote the book the movie is based on. You can watch it on Prime, Apple, YouTube, and Google for rent for $3.99. But before we get started, let's get into our ratings rewind.
So you know the drill. Before we get into the movie, we'll reveal the rating our Y2K versions of ourselves would give. Then at the end, we'll see if our current selves agree with our initial rating. Our scale consists of Would buy it again.
The best would play on repeat.
5-day rental.
Would watch again.
2-day rental.
Okay, but nothing to write home about.
Same day rental.
Just absolute rubbish.
Excellent job.
Thank you. And
Gwen,
yeah.
Yeah.
what is your Y2K rating of this movie?
So I was thinking about it because my mom really liked that. There was like, especially there was like a moment in the movie my mom loved very much and was dying laughing about. So she really liked it. So I think I watched it after she did because she liked it so much. I think my Y2K self would value it a little higher because my mom really liked it. So I think then I thought it was a 5-day rental. Yeah, then in Y2K,
Okay.
Y2K times.
Danielle?
I love this movie. It is my comfort movie. And it's a would buy it because I own it. I don't think there's many movies where I memorize the lines. Jackie witnessed this today.
She purposely watched it separate from me because she knew she would annoy me with all her quoting.
Yep.
You would have been annoyed watching it with me and Ron last night. We had a good time.
So for me, same Gwen. I think my mom, because she read the book and she was like old enough to like experience life kind of like Bridget, where it was like concerned about weight and
Yeah.
all the things. So I think I watched it once with her, and obviously it did not resonate with me because I remembered shockingly little about this movie. So I'm going to give it.
Yeah, I was surprised at how little I remembered too. I was like, I guess we were like a little young.
I read the books, both books. I've seen every one of these movies. I own all the soundtracks for all 3 movies.
Nice. I bet the soundtracks are dope.
The soundtracks are very good.
Yeah.
I watch these. So there's a few movies that I don't watch because I know we're going to watch on the podcast, but this is the one that I don't include. I have to watch it. So, and I don't think I realized how much I watched this movie until I started to watch it again. And I was like, oh, I really do like this movie. Now, that's not to say I don't recognize how fucking toxic this entire series is. Like,
Yeah.
I think a lot of our Y2K movies are very toxic, but when we start getting into the casting and how they talk about this character, even in the book is like,
Looks pretty wild too.
it's crazy. And how they talk about Renée Zellweger, just like how much weight she had to gain to be the role in this role, and how she looks absolutely fucking normal.
Yeah.
And not fat as they would describe her in the press and all this other shit. So much so that she did it for this movie and the next movie where she gained weight. But for the last movie, she's like, I'm fucking over 40. I'm not doing this shit again. So she, they had to write that in. But the weight, the smoking, the self-deprecating.
Smoking.
There's a lot. But also,
there's a lot.
Also, there's Colin Firth. I just love it so much.
I do too. I do love Colin Firth. And I think like she was one of the more relatable characters we got to see during that era, I think. Yeah, and that's saying something. The 90s did us so dirty. Yeah. They did us so wrong. So often. At least in comparison to now. And it's interesting. Like, I didn't really think about, like, I was blown away by, like, oh man, I didn't really I don't remember latching onto this as like, that's kind of a problem, like, then at all. Like, didn't even think twice about any of it, really. So interesting.
Because we were in the whole, like, moms doing Weight Watchers, eating SnackWells, like, very toxic diet culture.
Yeah.
So it was so normalized back in the 90s that you didn't see anything wrong with it. And at that time, you probably were like, oh yeah, she is a little chubby. Instead of like, man, I'd kill to have her body as her
Are you kidding me? That bunny outfit looks so good on her.
Yeah.
I love it.
I just
Anyway, yeah.
recognize when she pulls up the like shapewear panties, I was like, bitch, what belly though?
Yeah.
You know, like, what are you
Yep.
hiding?
Also, I forgot to say, I wore my biggest pair of underwear for this episode.
Full
I was like, I'm putting on my big girl panties for this one.
Full fucking coverage.
For those of you only listening and not watching, I gave middle fingers to nobody.
To the diet industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of the reasons I wanted to do this movie is because I'm so anti-diet. I'm so anti-diet culture. And so like, you know, so I was like, we're going to talk about it. And also, I haven't seen this movie in a long time.
So this movie had a budget of $25 million and made $282 million. Quite honestly, I think so. They never expected to make this movie like a big budget movie or anything. This was supposed to be an indie. And you know, that's from the perspective of these idiots thinking that female driven movies or rom-coms will, you know, they're not going to do big. And I don't know why they thought that, because the book was such a success itself. It was just ridiculous. But
yeah.
do you know what made it turn from an indie to like a more studio film? It was the moment the men signed on. Once Hugh Grant and Colin Firth signed on for the movie, that's when they started to put a little bit more behind it. But even still, they did not see $282 million worldwide coming. It actually started off a little slow, but it picked up momentum. And it's out of the 3 movies, it's the only one that made more money in the US than in the UK. But the character's pretty damn popular in England. And when it came down to like figure out the casting, there was I even remember at the time there was just so much chatter. And when they picked Renée, a lot of people were actually mad. They were really pissed. And so there was a lot of pressure on her to like get this character right.
Were they mad because she was American or like why? Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
she was.
It
American.
was and still is very unorthodox, especially now. We don't have Americans playing Brits anymore, really, hardly ever.
Yeah.
Peter Dinklage is like the exception in my mind. The only one allowed.
So yeah, they did a 2-year search and they finally cast her in May of 2000. And the producer said he saw in Renée a gift few people have, that she is able to straddle comedy and emotion, and she brings enormous character and conviction to the part. I really do think that she owns this part.
Yep.
You know,
I agree.
You see her in so many films, but like I don't see any of her other characters when she plays this movie. She is just such a great actress. I don't think she gets enough recognition for that.
Yeah. That's a really accurate description of her. She is able to do both.
Yeah.
She's able to to toe the line. She was again like a really relatable, like this was the most relatable it gets in terms of the writing, but like she does it the way it was supposed to be done, I think.
Yeah, no, 100%. She worked with Barbara Berkery, who helped Gwyneth Paltrow for Shakespeare in Love with her accent. Like I said, there's a lot of pressure. And she actually retained her accent on set, even while like they weren't shooting. So Hugh Grant said that he didn't hear her speak with her American accent until the wrap party after they finished the movie. And he was like, when he heard her speak in a very strange voice that he soon found out was her own natural tone.
That's amazing. I would have done the same thing under that much pressure.
Yeah,
totally. I would be like, this is who we are now. All this money behind me.
I'm British.
What I also love about it is that she's always down to play this role. Like, even they just did the 3rd movie, and like I think she said she'd be up to do more. And I'm like, I will take whatever you guys want to give me, because I am the toxicity that feeds off of this, I am fine with it. But I'm also concerned that they'll ruin it if they continue to do more. Like, what else can Bridget do? She, you know.
What's left?
She gained 20 pounds for the part, and she actually worked at a producers asked her to go work at a publisher company called Picador as a trainee in the publicity department, and nobody knew that she was an actress and that she was just doing this to kind of get a feel for working in publishing. So,
which is that's weird to me, because like it's not like she got to say anything smart about publishing the entire movie.
No.
Like, when did she even do even a little bit of her job other than sit at a desk and write email? There was hardly anything having to do with actual publishing that she got to do. We didn't get to see her do her job very often. I mean, maybe there were moments, but I'm like, that seems like a waste of energy to me, but okay.
Honestly, Bridget is not the brightest. That is probably one of the things that drives me crazy. Yeah.
Okay,
and because I think she is smart. Like, we just didn't get to see her be smart until like the end.
Yeah.
You know?
I have a question for you, because you watched it with Ron, and he is an ADHD coach. What were his thoughts on both Mr. Darcy and...
We both immediately went, Colin Firth's character is totally on the autism spectrum.
Yes!
Totally. And she has ADHD, or maybe is ADHD. ADHD is people who are autistic and have ADHD, but she definitely is. They're definitely both neurodiverse characters.
Yes, and like, at least...
And I love that.
But there's representation in this movie.
Yes, and it's like, I wish they would. Now the difference is like, let's, that's what I think a lot of people may have related to. I don't know, but like the best scenes were them talking together in their own weird like way, and everyone else around them was so neurotypical. And I was like, she has all the symptoms of like getting overwhelmed in public, like word vomit, sort of like impulsivity, emotional dysregulation. She drinks, she smokes as coping mechanisms, all of that.
Yes.
All of it. And then Colin Firth is like a really adorable
he just like has no filter, says things like
very serious.
Yeah, just very blunt about things, but like not in a harmful way, just like, no, these are facts. And then like when he says, I like you just as you are, I'm like, that is such a neurodivergent way of saying like,
yeah, and he had a hard time getting there and saying that too, and that's so like, for him to be vulnerable took a lot. Like, took a lot of time for them to actually get to this place where they like understood what was happening. So yeah, it was really interesting.
A lot of trauma. I mean, like the fact that with his whole wife thing, I think that probably made it a little bit harder for him to make that leap, especially since she was involved with Danielle.
For sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I am going to let Danielle lead this movie, since obviously way more experience than I do. Took good notes.
Okay, good, because we'll see how I do. Because like, even though you watch it all the time, I may stray off course.
Like my Lilo and Stitch.
I was like, wait a minute, what's happening?
Don't you love this movie? Haven't you seen it a million times? I'm like, I still don't know the order in which things happen.
This movie starts off New Year's Day. So Bridget, as soon as she gets to her parents' house, she is greeted by her mother, and immediately her mother starts to state all the things that are wrong. I relate.
Generational trauma.
I relate. Yeah. I always relate. As soon as she didn't even get a foot in the door, and her mother's just like, you pretty much look like crap. What are you wearing?
She said you wandered out of Auschwitz. Are you kidding
Mama
me?
Is so
racist.
Mom, but also something a mom that like now people say.
Yes,
there are these boomers.
She also says,
"You'll be saying that."
She also says something, another racist thing, and Bridget repeats it, which is that the Japanese are a cruel race, which was just like I did catch that one always. Like that one always makes me cringe because I'm just like, and it just makes me mad that Bridget repeats it.
Yeah.
Later on. So she tells Bridget there's something for her to like go wear. And there's a whole party at the house. The neighbors, like all of her parents' friends are there. And and we get a voiceover. So we start to get a feel for Bridget and just like her thought process of things and being fully aware that her mother is a psychopath and putting her down every chance she gets. This is where the parallels begin with Pride and Prejudice and Bridget, mainly because in Pride and Prejudice, the mother is just like never ending. Like she doesn't shut the fuck up. You talk about word vomit. It's ridiculous. And you can also see the closeness between Bridget and her dad as much as Elizabeth and her dad in Pride and Prejudice, which they have like this very quiet relationship and they're very sweet with each other. And I like adore it. But he's also a pushover. He's just like, whatever the mom wants at this point. And her mom pretty much introduces her. Well, she says that the Darcy's son is there and he's a barrister. And she explains that he just got divorced. And that's where she makes the little, racist comment. So Bridget's like, please do not try to hook me up again. And that's when she sees Mr. Darcy's tush. I don't know what she was looking at because I didn't see much, but I still love him. Still love him.
Still love him.
And then
no matter the size of the tush.
And his little reindeer jumper.
Right. So
I loved the reindeer sweater. I thought it was cute.
It's a moose. It's not a reindeer. And
it's a moose?
Yes.
That's even better.
Yeah, they were trying for a long time. They like put out a call for a bunch of people to try to find the perfect jumper sweater. And they settled on the moose. And so you see this like tall drink of water. And then he turns around and he's wearing this sweater. And it's just like fucking hilarious. And plus, Colin Firth just does an amazing job, deadpan sarcasm and just like not giving a shit. So she's like, well, maybe my mom got it right. But then later on, you see Mr. Darcy talking with his mom and he's like, word vomit again, just very brutally honest, talking about Bridget, which hurts her feelings. I think they make an introduction first before he gets to that part. And of course, Bridget says something inappropriate and ridiculous. And tell he's like totally judging her.
She says that, like, you remember you were running around his front yard in no clothes when they were little.
Right. Which they bring up a lot. And
they bring it up and then they take it to the next level at the end of the movie. We'll get there. But
yeah.
They take it to a place they did not need to take it.
No. And it gets even worse because I found out there's different version endings and we could have gotten something different instead of that.
Ugh. I really love that he describes her as verbally incontinent.
That's the other way around, right? Oh, no, incontinent. Yeah, that's right.
Incontinent. Yeah,
that's
verbally
right.
incontinent.
That's right.
And she smokes like a chimney, drinks like a fish, and dresses like her mother, who in fact did dress her.
Yes, she said she looks like a carpet, and she did.
She did.
Gosh.
Carpet.
Yeah, she was right. So much smoking inside, so much smoking indoors.
Yes.
Very weird to watch.
Smoking. Like if you moved a picture frame off the wall, there is definitely a nicotine outlet.
Yes.
In every single flat they were in.
But Renee was smoking herbal cigarettes in this movie. So as a strike president, I don't have to get upset with her.
Yay.
Okay. So yeah, as she's getting fucking curry, she's got to deal with this man with a moose freaking jumper talking shit about her. And, when she sees it, when she hears it, she doesn't even like say anything back. She just kind of plays it off and walks away, which you know, my heart breaks for her because that's embarrassing and not nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she goes home, and this is where I think most women very much relate to her character, because she is singing all by myself in her pajamas and
It's so good.
drinking
so
so
good.
much wine. Yeah. Which
It's
Gwen,
one of my favorite parts of the movie is the opening sequence.
Yeah.
Gwen,
Yeah, I know you're gonna say, because I reenacted it, and let me tell you, this is the reason I love it so much, is because when I reenacted it, I was like, this is such a challenge to be drunk and crying and singing in the way, like trying to mirror her emotions the way that she was doing them. I was like, she's so good.
yeah,
It's so good. Like it's just, yeah, it's this is exactly where it's like, it's funny and it's sad and it's the opening credits. I love that part.
And it's super relatable. Like you
Yeah.
where you're just like, leave me here to die.
where she
keeps get eaten by wild dogs so many
I
times.
love that.
Yeah.
I think what happens next was she just says, you know, like, she gets a diary. She says she's going to not be this sad person or whatever. Oh, I may be mixing up scenes. Is this where she gets the new self-help books, or is this after is that after Daniel and her?
The self-help books is later, I think, when she is after, yeah. It's after Daniel.
But she decides to do her diary, where she's going to keep track of like her weight, what's going on, how many drinks, how many cigarettes, blase. The weight stuff is triggering, you know.
Yeah, trigger warning.
Yeah.
And also, they say pounds, which I'm like, you don't weigh, you weigh stones, don't you?
I think so, because
I think they just were like, well, for the American market.
Yeah. I'm sure if we watched maybe the British, because there's a different version. So,
oh yeah, for the American market, they need to know exactly how much that weight meant.
Yeah.
Eye roll, giant eye roll. Yeah, it is triggering, but it's like, you know, watching that back, it's like, wow, I'm glad I've come away from that sort of thinking.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us have. So it's kind of good. It's a kind of like a positive reflection that we're like, oh, we see that this is problematic now. At least we got that going for us.
Next, does she go out to dinner with her friends? Do we meet the friends, or does she go to work?
My next note says Hugh with an exclamation point, so I'm pretty sure it's
goes to work.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, no, I
don't know. I don't know.
When she's talking, I think it's like little fantasy clips that she's thinking through.
Oh yeah,
as
she's mentioning
all these promises
that she has a crush on her boss.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we get the little clip of Hugh. We get the clip of her drunk singing karaoke with her friends.
Friends.
At the bar.
Yes. And
then we're in.
She explains who her friends are. So
yes,
she has
Perpetua.
Perpetua is her coworker who's a biatch, but you know, her friends Tom, Shaz, and
oh yeah, Perpetua was her coworker. That's right. Sorry, Tom, Shaz. I don't remember her friends' names at all. I was like, Moaning Myrtle, Moaning Myrtle, Moaning Myrtle. Like, oh, sorry.
I wrote Jude, BFF, Moaning Myrtle.
Okay, so it's Jude, Shaz, and Tom.
Yes.
Tom was a one-hit wonder pop singer, and he's literally
I wanted more of that.
I know.
Me too.
There's more.
I wanted to hear the song. Yeah, I'm sure there's more.
In the book, which he's hilarious, but he's pretty much getting laid off of.
Yeah,
it's like his royalties essentially that he gets to be laid from that one-hit wonder. Jude is constantly dating shitty guys and crying in the bathroom all the time at work. I don't know how she hasn't gotten fired yet.
But much like her character, Moaning Myrtle, she
isn't that interesting?
In the toilet crying.
Yeah, and that's what Ron said. We heard her voice, and we were instantly like, "Is that Moaning Myrtle?" And then we saw her in the bathroom crying, and Ron was like, "She's doing the same thing."
And Shaz loves to just say fuck a lot, which is really funny because the actress who plays her is actually like really Christian, and she got a lot of flack for this role. Then, you know, she talks about Hugh Grant, who is Daniel Cleaver, her boss, who is sexy as hell, and she fantasizes about him. And he, like, I want to say, out of all the movies that Hugh Grant has ever been in, I feel like this role is probably like the closest to his personality. Just like,
you think so?
I think the other
The
roles
sexiness and suaviness.
just like,
I mean,
I just mean, like, he just said he doesn't give a fuck kind of thing. You know, he says what he wants to say. You know, he did an interview where he talked about like his leading ladies, and there's a few of them that don't want to fucking talk to him anymore. Like Julia Roberts.
wow. Oh, well, if Julia doesn't want to talk to him, I don't want to talk to him either.
Well, Sandra Bullock is fine with him. They got along swimmingly, and he loves Renée Zellweger. They get along well, but they had some hard times. When we get to Notting Hill, I'm sure we'll learn about all of that. But I don't know. I just think his cheekiness. The other ones, he plays this like bumbling kind of.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's not really
confident.
bubbly.
Yeah, I just feel like he had so much fun playing this role.
I think you're right, because I do remember they had a shot of him slow motion walking, and I was like, oh, he knows how hot he is right here. And I love that for him. Yeah. I was like, okay, we know, you get it, you know.
And he said that Renee's like has been his favorite co-star to make out with, to kiss. And him and Colin Firth just had so much fun. So
yeah, you're right. Hugh Grant, like, ranking his co-stars by like how well they kiss, that says a lot about him.
No,
I'm sure their chemistry was nice.
Yeah. And I'm sure he had to pick someone that wasn't pissed at him. Drew Barrymore and him are cool too. So
Drew Barrymore's cool with everyone because she's cool.
Yeah, that's true.
She's like, I forgive everybody. Everything's okay. I love her so much. Her new show. Just seeing TikToks of her and her new show, and like, anyway.
She's just such a ray of light.
Yeah,
she is. She's everyone's like mom that we like.
I just hope
didn't have a good mom. Drew's your mom.
What happens next? Oh boy, this is too much pressure. I wasn't prepared for this.
Oh, sorry. Let me get. Oh, now it's the email scene.
So I would say Bridget wears very daring outfits to work. Like, there is no professional in her dress attire.
I wonder if it even would have mattered. I think he was like, boss was gonna start that skirt shit regardless.
True.
Well, at first, because she's always super drunk and I hadn't seen this movie in forever, I thought she legit came to work without a skirt on.
That's what I thought it was going to be. I was like, oh, this is going to be one of those Bridget. I was like, I don't remember, but I think this might be a Bridget moment where like her skirt is not actually on. And I was like, oh no, it's just an actual
panties or something.
Yeah, or something. But oh no, it was actually her boss is suddenly really inappropriately flirting with her. Cool.
Yeah, he was quite like, he really,
it was a lot.
It never showed, like, we never got to see how, like, if there was a lead up to this or he just randomly one day.
It was all of a sudden. Yeah. Right. It was so quick.
So she's
on
she's on the phone with Jude, who's crying again, moaning. Myrtle is crying. And so she's like on her work phone talking personal stuff, and she doesn't realize her boss is there. And so she like freaks out, thinks that she's in trouble or whatever. And it's not, I think, until actually she goes to dinner with her friends to say like, I'm screwed. And then the next day when she comes into work, she gets an email about her skirt and her boss. And he had the audacity to do it in written, like, to leave evidence behind.
HR.
I know. He did not give a shit. No HR in England, baby.
He did not.
I don't know. Yeah, it was. I was like, this is really happening right now. This isn't a day. This is this fast. Okay. Look, nobody turns down Hugh, though. Nobody. Not a single person.
And
Yeah.
Bridget is no exception because the next day she shows up in a see-through shirt.
Right.
Mhm.
And she
It's
also
a nude sheer shirt with a black bra underneath.
So she's getting sexually harassed by not one, but two people. And she also has a Karen in her office who is the fucking worst.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The uncle.
Yes. Fitz pervert.
Fitz, tits pervert.
Tits pervert.
Tits pervert.
It's pervert.
He's
Yeah.
constantly looking at her chest. And that makes her uncomfortable. But it's totally fine when her cute boss does it. And so they go back and forth with all these emails that are very inappropriate. And then he catches her in the elevator and puts his hand on her ass. Like, no time. They're not even talking to each other.
Mm-mm. Wait,
But she
no
gets
time.
the look that's like a little bit of shock, then like, ooh,
Yeah.
I got him.
Yeah. This movie should be used on the don'ts
Yeah.
in HR. Like, this is not what you do.
Yeah. This is not cool. Yep.
So after the elevator incident, Daniel shoots his shot and he's like, let's go out to dinner. And she's like, can't tonight. He's like, what about tomorrow? They have a book launch. She says no. And he's like, the night after. So she's playing a little hard to get. She meets up with Jude and she's like, well, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to wear? And they go through like the whole thing, which I do love because as women, we do this whole process. Like there's so much that goes into it. She knows there's potential after this party that she might get laid. So she wears she gets a killer black dress. She shaves her legs and she has to make that choice between cute thong or this wonderful support granny panties that are really going to hold everything in. And
We
when
love a granny panty. We love it.
I say everything, but there was really nothing to be had there. But she decides to go with that. My grandma would have died that I wore white granny panties instead of the black to go with my black dress.
Yeah, get some black granny panties. Hello.
So she goes to the party and she's asked prior to the party to introduce Tits Pervert. I don't understand why the person introducing the other person needs an introduction as well. Like,
I don't know.
Office.
I was like, why does she get picked to go stand up and say something? Why? We know how she is.
Right.
Why does she have this job?
Top 30 writers of all time.
I know. It was really funny though.
I
And
laughed.
very awkward. I felt very uncomfortable. I was like,
I usually fast forward through that part. So the fact that I had to watch it this time made me cringe so hard.
You fast forward because it's so uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole time she's up there, you can hear her inner monologue while she's trying to remember her boss's name because she calls him Tits pervert so much. That's what's like whispering in her mind. And she's like, what the fuck is my boss's name? Which I have a story about that and why you should not be like secretly mean about people's names. So we had a very lovely coworker. Her name was Gina. I accidentally called her Gina once. So then that became her name, like when she wasn't in the room. And then once on a meeting, I was like, Gina, what do you think? And I was like, I mean, Gina. And I don't think she thought it was truly just like a mistake, but like people had to turn their cameras off on the Zoom meeting because immediately they were just like, like, oh dear Lord. So lesson to us all, call people by the right names and don't make up mean nicknames for them.
Yeah, there you go.
Or make sure that the names don't match so closely that you accidentally say it.
Yes.
But probably what Jackie said is the nicer way to do things in life.
Karma will come back and get you.
Right. So at this party, Bridget is awkward. She's by the alcohol after she crashes and burns. I believe at some point she does notice that Mark Darcy is there, and she introduces him to Petra, the Karen in her office. And she fantasizes about whether or not she should be like a dick about him. And she decides to take the nice route, only to be welcomed by Mark Darcy saying in a very blunt introduction to his lawyer friend, partner, bitch, and introduces her as the girl who used to run around naked in his paddling pool. Which, why? Why, Mark? Why?
Because he's neurodivergent.
Because neurodivergents say things sometimes that they can't unsay. That's the only time he does that, though, I think.
They talk about it a lot, but I think that's the only time he introduces her that way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So she's pretty much just embarrassed after the whole incident with the introduction. And she goes talking to Daniel. And that's where, like, well, Daniel comes over. She's talking to Mark, and she could see Daniel looking over at them. And Mark is just like ready to, you could tell on his face, you could see it if you're watching me behind me. He looks like I want to stab a bitch in the face. And so, you know, she's trying to put two and two together. Like, one, do they know each other? How do they know each other? And what is wrong with Mark at this point? And by the time Daniel does come over, she's still trying to figure out. They're like having a very tense interaction, but not enough to figure out what's going on. But then she leaves the party with Daniel, and they go to dinner. And you could tell, like, it's a difference. Like, Mark kind of judges her, but Daniel doesn't to her, you know, to her face, at least. Like, he's just fun and telling her, I don't give a shit about things. And she's laughing so fucking hard. And I want that in life. I want to laugh as hard as Bridget was laughing.
They do laugh a lot together, those two. Yeah. There is, like, because he's fun, right? He's the fun one. Yeah. I wrote down, Hugh is being so gross, but that kiss is hot.
they had,
I don't know what kiss I was talking about. Was that, like, right
when
after that, right?
He asked her to go back to his place, and they, you know,
that's it.
They start to get it on, and they have really good chemistry. And she also has really good chemistry with Colin Firth, which is great. You know, if you're gonna get a love triangle, you know, make it interesting for me, you know. So I do love this scene, because when you're gonna get it on with any guy, especially the first time, it's very awkward. And I think a little bit of laughter can help get you to the tip. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Totally. Sure. Yeah, no.
Did Danielle, sorry if I missed it, did you talk about how Danielle describes knowing Mark?
Oh, so she does.
He says that at the party, right?
Yeah. She does say, like, what's going on? Like, how do you guys know each other? And she's like, don't worry, I don't fucking like this dude or know this dude very well, so it's no skin off my chest. And I think that's when Daniel makes the decision to, like, lie, obviously. And he tells a story about how he kind of let his guard down and was friends with him and made the wrong choice to introduce him, Mark, to his fiance, to Daniel's fiance. And, you know, he slept with his fiance. Not the real story, which we find out later, which is actually that it was Mark Darcy's wife, and Daniel was like one of his best friends and slept with Mark's wife. So now Bridget believes that not only is Mark Darcy just a jerk for saying whatever he wants to say, and he's mean, he's also a philanderer, and so she's got a bad taste in her mouth for him. So they get down to business in granny panties and all, and Bridget, you could see her in the afterglow. She's living her best life, and you just see them kind of like a montage of them kind of being together and sleeping together and blah blah blah. But then you find out.
But wait, the answering the phone. Answering the phone call.
Why?
She
Why would
answers
you
it.
ever answer
Who
that?
is calling? That would be a good response.
Maybe
She answers
a
the phone
friend.
and goes, Bridget Jones, sultry sex goddess, has a man between her thighs currently, something like that. And she's like, oh, mom? Yeah, of course it's your mom. Who else you talk? Like, maybe she thought it was one of her friends.
Yeah.
Bridget does not really think it
Was
through.
not thinking it through. And this is another ADHD moment brought to you by Renée Zellweger.
But next time Gwen calls me.
I swear to God. I was like, Ron and I were like, what the fuck is she talking about? It is kind of funny.
Please.
It's kind of funny. Okay, I'm gonna
Answer the phone one day when Ron calls you with just that.
I will. And he will remember what that's from. Funny.
In this scene, like, I believe Bridget she asks what they should do at work. Like, do you think people will notice? And Daniel's like, notice what? She's like, oh, that we're sleeping together. And, you know, she's already envisioned them married together. So she's wanting
He's the king of
more.
deflection.
Yeah. But I don't want to take his side, but it has been 2 days. He literally says,
he's right about that. Yeah.
Hooked up Tuesday, today's Thursday.
Yeah.
Bridget.
He is pretty straightforward about being like, slow down.
Yeah.
And that's fair. That's totally fair.
So they're having a good time, pretty much. And then she finds out that one of who she calls like an aunt, I guess, her mom's best friend is having something in Vickers party.
Oh, Tarts and Vickers.
Tarts and Vickers party, which in America would be a pimps and hoe party. I don't know why.
But isn't a vicar a priest?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But in America, we would not have a priest and hoe. We would do a pimp and hoe, I think.
That's true. You are 100%.
Nobody wants to dress as a priest, though.
Yeah.
I guess in Britain. When in Britain.
So I don't know why Bridget is going to this, because it's old people dressed as hoes and priests, but okay.
I was like, why?
Flex.
Why is everyone so surprised about her costume if it was the original plan? You know what I mean?
Right?
They're just being, I just felt
They're
really
just
annoying.
mean.
Yeah.
Maybe they wouldn't have dressed that target. Maybe they wouldn't have gone that far. Maybe that's what it was.
That scene always annoys me because I always feel like the Luna, I think is her name, she has a dress or something that Bridget could have changed into, you know?
Yeah.
So she's not wearing the bunny costume the whole freaking day. And also,
I kind of like that she rocked it though, just for our sake.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right.
Would have just left. I'm like, what the fuck? No.
Okay, I'm gonna go change, you weirdos.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. I think we missed the part though where like they do the whole weekend and he leaves her.
So now Bridget's in a love bubble and she's getting to go on an away trip with her boyfriend to this party, and they're going to stay at a hotel and they get a nice convertible to drive up. And of course, in Bridget fashion, she does not secure the scarf on her hair and ends up looking a hot fucking mess, like the picture behind Jackie.
She didn't want to go back for that scarf. She could have said, I want that scarf. Maybe she wants the scarf. Maybe
Daniel didn't give a shit. He saw it fly off and he kept going.
Her hair was funny.
It was so funny.
And when they get to the hotel, they find out that there is a wedding happening and that they're the only other couple besides another couple that are not part of the wedding. And dun dun dun, it's Mark Darcy and that stick figure bitch with him. I don't know what that girl's name is, and I don't care.
I don't either.
I don't like her attitude.
They say it at the end.
I don't need to know.
We're not meant to like her. It's fine.
And this is where Mark sees her and her hair. And you could tell like he's kind of checking out the scenario and sees that her and Daniel have are still like together and they've escalated since they last ran into each other. And then you see Bridget has flat ironed her hair. I always noticed that, like, she didn't just comb it, she had to flat iron that bitch because it was a mess.
Okay, first of all, so they're like in two separate canoes for some reason.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it leads us to this really great scene where Hugh falls in the water and he can get it in that wet t-shirt. I'm not gonna lie.
Which is an ode to the 1995 Mr. Darcy and his wet shirt from Pride and Prejudice. So it's Hugh on Colin, which I love.
Yep, that's really good. But yeah, they had to be in separate boats, I guess, to make that work. But they were having a good time. They were laughing, and the other two were like,
so Natasha is literally like reading legal briefs while Colin Firth is like rowing her in the boat.
Yeah. Boring couple of 2001, 100%.
So boring.
I could see why he was attracted to her though, for those reasons. Like it feels like he would like have a little bit of like, well, at least she's she can hold a convo. Yeah.
But I don't think he ever was dating her. He really, I think, thought of her as his workmate. I think
I got those vibes too. And like in the end, when there's the Christmas party at his parents' house and they kind of announce an engagement that hasn't happened yet, like Natasha seems excited, but Mark is just kind of like, what the fuck?
Mark never seems excited about anything though.
He doesn't.
He's always just kind of like,
stone
this doesn't read. It doesn't read well on a podcast making faces. But you can imagine. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
People listening. The Colin Firth face.
If you're on Spotify, it supports video, so you can be watching.
Which is so cool.
Hello, I'm a sophisticate, and so can you.
Is the name of our podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Anthony.
And I'm another of your hosts, Sydney.
And we're two queer millennials with ADHD.
Who have been lying about our own cultural literacy.
If you've ever been in a situation where you pretended to know more than you do about an important movie or a piece of literature.
Yeah, or like a super cool band.
Then this is the show for you.
This is a show where we engage with the canon so that you don't have to.
Topics for discussion will include such things as:
is Carrie Brownstein the coolest person?
Can anyone who likes the movie Chinatown be trusted?
Why, Tom Waits, why?
All of these questions and more will be answered on every episode of I'm a Sophisticate, and so can you.
Available wherever you find your podcast.
So he falls out of the boat.
Yeah,
right.
Falls out of the boat. Yeah,
so
go.
After that scene, they're in bed. They've been banging all day.
With her bra on. I always
with her bra on. And they're talking about doing something illegal in so many countries. I was like, guys, what are you doing?
I would love to know what that move was.
I mean,
I'm just curious.
It couldn't be that interesting.
No. It just was weird that they just like made a meal out of it. But anyway.
And then Bridget does a very Bridget thing, and they've literally been dating like maybe a week and a half tops. And she's like, do you love me?
Do you love me?
And that freaks Danielle the fuck out.
Yeah.
Except you just go, stop it, and flip over. And you're like, what?
If that's all you needed me to say.
He's like, that'll shut her up. That works for her. It worked on her.
Yep. And then the next day, so I'm assuming like it's just that's the end of the scene, and we're at the next morning, and he's packing up, and she's like, the party's today, where are you going? And he's like, oh, the firm is in trouble, it might be closing, I have to get home to do some work to try and save it, blah blah blah. And she's like, well, can't you at least come to the party for a little bit? Like, she was ready to show him off, and now he's leaving. And so he's like, no, I really need to get back. And so she It's kind of sad, but then she dresses as a bunny and hops
And everything's cute.
Yeah.
And
Hops to the Tarts and Vickers party, but there's been a change of plans and no one has related to her, dad, and one other dude dressed as the Pope or a bishop.
No, there was a lady as well who was hiding in the bushes who dressed
Oh,
as
was
like
she?
Oh,
a
that's
vicar.
right. And she was like, and then they thought that one lady was, that was rough.
Poor
She was like,
Penny.
oh, she forgot. She didn't get a call either. She's like, yes, I did. No, she's like, oh,
Oops.
Her outfit was
she had
hot.
it was. She had just had a little cleavage. It looked great.
Yeah.
But
Hot pink.
in this scene, we could get little like seeds that there are issues with her parents' marriage. Her mom has called and said all sorts of weird stuff, and I think her mom is getting to a point where she just feels like she doesn't feel like a woman anymore with her, and her dad isn't trying anymore. And the dad is kind of depressed too, because he feels like his wife just woke up one day and just wanted all these different things, and they're just not on the same page. And Bridget, I think, tries to comfort her dad, but she's in no boat to give advice about shit with the relationships whatsoever. So she leaves the party and she decides to go head over to Daniel's just to check in on him. And he invites her up. He's not acting kind of normal, but as women, we all know we have gut instincts sometimes. And she hears something fall, so she goes busting into his bedroom to see what it is, because he's trying to.
She sees a cardigan on his coat rack. He almost asked her out the door.
Yeah, that's
a
after.
second time.
Is that after?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
So the first time she busts in, she goes, "Oh God, I feel so stupid. I'm so sorry." And he's like, "It's all right."
Yeah, he just calms her down.
Gaslighter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then when she's about to leave, she sees
the cardigan, and she's like, "I'm gonna go back up there."
Yeah. And that's when you can tell he's kind of nervous, because she busts into the bathroom. And here's this.
And this bitch.
Yeah.
This bitch.
Fucking
so
Laura.
So fucking bad. She's I thought, once Bridget sees her, she's devastated and she's about to walk away. And this fucking cunt says
I thought you said she was thin.
Let me tell you, the way I would have flew over those tiles to the bathtub, it would have been
I'll
on
show
my
you
Donkey
what
Kong.
thick looks like.
Yes.
Skinny bitch.
The way we all talk about women's bodies this whole movie.
Yeah.
And how would that even fucking come up in conversation?
It wouldn't.
Daniel.
It's total bullshit. He wouldn't have brought up the panties either. He would have ripped them. Just take them off and shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
The same thing. It's he was not saying that.
Then Bridget's had enough. She has her woman cry and woman roar, and she's like, I'm gonna make some changes. I'm gonna do stuff for me. I'm done with this shit. She decides that she got different self-help books, and I think all of us can relate to all those fucking self-help books that were so stupid that don't make any sense about relationships and stuff. But she decides to stop smoking again and drinking less and exercising, and I think the job thing was a great thing, but just seeing her go on the interviews were hilarious. She goes and interviews at a kid show, and she pretty much says the same spiel at every job interview, but when she gets to the kid show, they're like, "Oh, do you have kids?" She starts laughing. She's like, "Fuck no."
Yeah, that's really funny. That's really funny.
Laughing. But I do love that her last interview is pretty much just look, I don't fucking care. I just need a job. I tried to fuck my last boss and it didn't work out. And I love how the guy's you got it.
Yeah. He was kind of here for it. It was almost like she was treating one shit boss for just a slightly less shit boss.
Yes.
But hey,
he actually ends up to be pretty loyal.
He turns out
to
to
her.
be pretty.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
And
at first you're like, oh no, not again, and fine.
in the other movies, like they become pretty decent friends, and
No, that's good.
He's a pretty good guy. So she gets a new job, and she go be on television. Fuck books.
They're letting this lady be on television. It's
So crazy.
so
But
Letting the lady with no filter be a reporter on live TV.
no experience.
No experience.
nope.
You only got a 10-second buffer. You're going to use that in the first 10 seconds of her reporting, and then what you going to do?
Before she goes through that process of like being able to get the job, you do see her having to engage with Daniel, and she's very sad. And this motherfucker pretty much tells her, "Oh, by the way, I really feel bad about everything I did, but also I'm getting engaged to that skinny bitch that called you big." Yeah.
And she was like there, wasn't she? Like in the office somewhere.
Yeah, watching and staring. And I think that's really what triggered Bridget to like really take control of her life. So now she's got a new job. Mama's got a brand new bag, and she tells Daniel that she'd rather wipe Saddam Hussein's ass than work for him.
Yeah.
And everybody's clapping
for her.
Even the
Perpetua
Karen.
stood up for her. We like that. Yeah.
Well, Perpetua was like, if she's getting out of line, don't worry, I'll take care of her. Bitch, you're not my boss.
Oh, I misunderstood her line completely.
Yeah,
I thought she said something nice.
No.
I thought so too. I thought she was going to back her up like she was HR.
Absolutely.
I wish Daniel
Oh, she said the wrong thing. Oh,
No.
well, fuck that lady.
But when Bridget says fuck you, pretty much, she does kind of make a smirk or whatever, like, you know, she's proud of her. But yeah, she was definitely ready to like drag Bridget for the sake of the company.
Yeah.
And so Bridget is on to her next life, pretty much. And the next thing, she gets invited to a couples party, which as a single person
is so funny.
is a fucking nightmare, which becomes your life, unfortunately. Once you get past like 33, 34, it is couple city, and you want to fucking poke your goddamn eyes, ears, and everything else out with this bullshit. And she gets all the questions that you get at family dinners and couple parties, which is, what's wrong with people who are in their 30s, women? And
how's your love life?
Yeah. And
why are women over?
You're not complete unless you're married. You're not complete if you don't have kids, and all sorts of weird shit. And what I do love is that she kind of just is really sarcastic about it. And everyone just looks at her like she's crazy. What does she say? It
like
doesn't
the quintessential
help.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead. No, I was gonna say it's a quintessential scene of like an ADHDer being surrounded by neurotypicals. That's like the nightmare. It's like nobody understands you. Everyone talks the same in the couples. Like that was kind of funny, actually, how they did that.
It was a good scene. I think everybody could relate to that. Just feeling odd man
out of place. Yeah.
And somebody asked her like, what's going on with women or whatever. She's like, well, I guess it doesn't help that I have scales under my clothes or something.
Yeah.
And then when she's leaving, here comes Mark Darcy, and she's like, look, I don't have time for this shit with you today. And he musters up that he likes her, and just as she is, and she's like, okay, the drinking, the smoking, the weird mother, just as I am. He's like, just as you are. And she's floored by that. I mean, I think she says it to herself quite a bit after that. A few days later, she's
friends.
still,
Yeah, she repeats it. Yeah.
It completely throws her for a loop. And then she does her first job.
No, so this is the scene that my mom loved the most. And that was like when she talked about liking the movie, she talked about this scene because it was so funny to her. They asked Bridget to, like, they're like, okay, you're gonna slide down the fire pole wearing a helmet. She's wearing a skirt, of course, and you're gonna a fire helmet, and you're gonna give the interview after you slide down the pole. So she's ready at the top of the pole, and they're like, go, and then she starts sliding down. They go, wait, stop, 30 more seconds, and she's in the middle, and then she's trying to climb back up. And then they're like, and go. And then she slides down and kind of loses control. And then the camera just catches her ass coming out of her skirt right onto the camera. And it's so funny. It still plays. It's still so funny.
does.
Her butt just landing on the camera is so funny.
And
to me.
she's at home rewinding it and like watching it.
She watches it over and over. Yeah, she's like, I'm so embarrassed. I'm like, people probably were like, oh hell yeah, it's the hottest new segment.
Yeah. And in pantyhose.
Yeah, like no underwear, I guess. That was a weird choice to not wear underwear that day, but okay.
Yeah.
It was very funny. That's a very funny scene.
She then learns that there's this case happening and they're putting her on. They're trying to get an interview. It's about a couple. The guy is an activist and he's from another country, and the woman is an English woman, and she's trying to fight to keep him in the country. And it turns out that Mark is actually their lawyer. And Bridget, of course, in the midst of everything, she needs to go get a cigarette and misses the opportunity, so she thinks, to interview them after they come out of court and there was a ruling. So when she's talking to like her camera guy and she's just like freaking out, like, oh my
She's
God,
like, I'm
what are we
gonna
going
get
to
sacked.
do?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just turns out that Mark is like, well, nobody got a scoop because I didn't let them, but I will give it to you because I like you just the way you are.
With the help of a powerful man, you two can have your job go your way. What a great lesson, everybody. No, but she does crush the interview, and that was really nice to see, because we're like, oh, she is capable of, and we knew she was the whole time. I just wish we saw it more. She's super capable of like, just like having a really cute, delightful energy on camera, and yeah, making people laugh and talking about the important things at the same time.
Yeah,
it was nice.
Love Bridget. With Bridget, we can do all things.
Yeah.
And then it's her birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, she's cooking. Okay.
She's cooking on her own birthday. I know.
Bridget,
I was like,
baby girl, you know you can't cook. Why?
Maybe she's just
I don't
prove she could.
And like Mark can't either. Apparently, he was helping her.
Yeah.
What's he
supposed to do? She ain't got nothing in the. She has nothing in her fridge. There is nothing he could have whipped up. I feel like Mark Darcy knows how to cook something, but she didn't have anything but eggs. So he's like, "We're gonna."
What made the soup blue? Why was it? Why did the soup
string?
blue?
So it was blue and white string that she used, and so the dye from the string came and made it blue. I don't think that soup was safe. Just saying.
No, I don't think so either. I would have been like, what's up with this? Is this food poisoning?
So they're having cute moments. They actually recite a conversation between her mother and her mother's friend from that New Year's party that they had, which is cute.
Yeah.
And then her friends all come and they're like, they're not really good at playing it off as if they don't know who Mark Darcy is. And they, of course, had to like make fun and give a toast to Bridget, saying that they like her just as she is. So obviously Mark knows that she spilled the beans.
Yeah.
Yes, he shows up. Wet t-shirt man shows up, not in a wet t-shirt. Right? Is that yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just love this. This is one of the better jokes in the whole movie. Was he's talking to her very seriously, and then he goes, "Christ, is that blue soup?" And then goes back to talking to her. And I think that's so funny that he pulls off that line. I mean, God, it was just so. He's just so good at that.
So Hugh Grant.
Why he plays bumbling characters, because he can go back and forth. Mm-hmm.
I think he knew exactly what he was doing by showing up on her birthday.
Oh, yeah.
And I 100% believe that very assholey woman, but smart woman, realized that he wasn't shit and left him.
Yeah.
And he came. And when he says to Bridget that if I can't make it with you, I can't make it with anyone, like,
that's an actually terrible thing to say to somebody.
Yeah.
I'll settle for you. Oh, thanks.
Yeah. So he comes, Jude actually answers the door because they don't know who it is. And his little weaselly self comes up there and says that he needs to talk to Bridget, and they go outside to go talk. And Mark says, you know what, I'm going to leave. And so Daniel's like, good, fine, or whatever. But then Mark turns around and says, fuck it. And starts popping off.
Outside, here we go, let's go.
I should have done this shit a long time ago.
Yeah.
And this entire fucking fight scene is hilarious.
It's so good. This is the time I'm going to read you this, because I was obviously, like, I'm in a little bit of like a sassy place with this movie overall. So I'm like ready to like make fun of this scene. And this is what I wrote down. This is the progression of what happened. I wrote, fighting over a girl and nobody stopping them. But it's so funny, you say. Well, it's not funny. Okay, the music is kind of funny. Stopping for the cake is hilarious, though. This is actually the best scene so far. I went from like, so I loved that scene.
Tom like pokes his head into a Greek restaurant. Is like,
it's
there's
so
a
good.
night out here, and all of the waiters go out, and they're just like, yeah.
It's so funny.
Now, if this movie came out now, it'd be World Star, and everybody would come out.
And Bridget would be throwing some punches. But like, they really, the stopping to sing Happy Birthday, the dog at the background, stopping to sing Happy Birthday was hysterical to me.
And
they're like,
the Parthenon?
Yes.
Yes, it was. Yeah. It was so good. It was so funny. It was
that restaurant was fake. They made it for the movie, but people were still trying to get reservations.
Real people don't get it. That's really funny.
And that whole fight was essentially improvised by Colin, Firth, and Hugh Grant. Originally, the fight was supposed to be serious, but the guys thought it would be really fun if they made it like silly, like these two very wussy white guys would fight like.
Yeah, it was a good choice, because making it silly took away from the fact that we're like, yeah, we get it. Two men fighting over the girl. Like who's gonna, like, we get it. But it really filled the space and made it more interesting and gave them some more fun things to do as their characters.
I look at that fight a little bit differently, because I think it's not, I mean, it is about Bridget, but it's more about Mark finally, because he's so repressed, right? Like, he does.
Yeah, it is about the past too. He's built up a lot of tolerances with this guy.
And Mark does everything that he's supposed to do. You can tell, like, his whole life he has. And Bridget is probably so outside of what he was supposed to be with, but he finds her very interesting, refreshing. And if you notice, he didn't even fight this man when he slept with his wife. But the fact that he's coming back and Bridget is his happiness, and he's just like, it's the one time that he has pushed it, like, that he's like, no. That is why I'm like, it is cliche.
No, I totally agree. I think I would be more likely to look at it in a two-dimensional way had they not given it depth with some of the funny to play off of. Then I was more inclined to like it, and like it gave it depth. I don't know, and I was less likely to sort of like be critical of what was happening. Yeah, and it allowed for you to like get a fuller picture better, I think.
I think
I'm with you.
This movie truly, like, the third movie, I love it, but just having Hugh Grant and both the dynamic of the three really just always makes these movies a lot more fun. Just the actors themselves, forget the characters, just their chemistry makes it great. I like the third movie because it was able to kind of end things, but Hugh Grant wasn't in it, so it just didn't have, like, it was missing just a smidge of the same sprinkle that he adds to this movie. Like, and the other thing is, like, he's such an asshole, he's such a dick. You don't want Bridget with him, but you fucking still love him. You still
do.
love him in these scenes. Like, he is so charismatic, it's annoying.
It is. It really isn't. When there's so many times I'd be like, oh, he's so gross. Oh, but they're like he actually said something kind of funny. Like, oh, okay. Like, and it was like he got back on he was going back and forth over this line so many times. Yeah, he did that well.
The one thing that does piss me off is that Mark, but I know why Bridget does it, but like I always get so mad because Mark finally lands a really solid punch on Daniel.
Yeah.
And Bridget's like, stop it, you're being crazy. And so it looks like she's, protecting Daniel and choosing him. And then Mark is like, fuck this shit, I don't need it. And he leaves.
Yeah.
But this is because Bridget still doesn't know that it was actually Daniel that slept with Mark's wife. So
yeah, they had to do it that way. Otherwise it would be confused. Yeah, they had to like play it for the comeback. Yeah, for sure.
At the end of this scene, Daniel says, "We belong together, Jones." He wakes up from being...
Yeah, he's like, "You're stuck with me, kid."
Yeah, and she's eventually like, "Yeah, that's not a good enough offer. You're right. I need to look for someone who's going to be it for me." And obviously you were not.
Yeah.
This is interesting because one of my relationships a long time ago, I was super young. We were together for a little bit. It was very tumultuous. It was very up and down. We broke up once, got back together. And I remember towards the very end of it, he said something along the lines of like, I'm stuck with you. I just know it. And I was like, that's why we're going to change that.
I had a man that we broke up because he was cheating a lot. I found out. And he said, "I should have gotten you pregnant when I had the chance."
How dare. Whoa. As if, okay.
Talk
as if he didn't do anything.
Trapping a bitch.
Oh, he let you get away. Oh no. Like you
what?
messed up. What do you, that's so, yeah, this guy was a similar vibe.
Ugh. I'm glad that Bridget chose herself. This really wasn't a choice between Daniel and Mark. It was a choice of like herself. I do like that.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. That's exactly what it was.
I'm telling y'all, it's a beautiful movie.
It is, like, there's a lot of beauty in it for sure. For sure.
Now we're back at Bridget's parents' house. Okay, sorry. There's a whole side story that I didn't really get into, but Mama she needed some loving. So she leaves with Mr. QVC shopping man, who has a really bad fake tan and is a prima donna, and he ended up being her lover, but he was rude, and she realized the grass wasn't greener on the other side. The dad was quite depressed, and Bridget gave him horrible advice, like flirting at the priest and vicar's party, which did not go over so well. And he was very depressed. Finally, the mom decided to come back home, and they were able to kind of mend fences, and everything was good, thank God, because Bridget needs a stable home. She does.
And her parents are both from Harry Potter as well.
Yes,
they are.
Professor Slughorn, and her mom is Madame Pomfrey, the nurse.
She's fucking royalty, Bridget is.
Yeah.
And like every time he talks, I can only hear him as Slughorn.
I had trouble not picturing him in that movie too. I was like, oh.
He's just going to turn himself into a chair.
I think like the parents sort of healed the relationship a little too quickly for my taste, but like, and especially like he was like, I don't know, and he's like, I'm joking, and I'm like, whoa, we're so lighthearted about all this. Okay, but look, like we gotta tie it up in a bow at some point for this movie, and that's how it was. That's how they were writing it then, and it's fine.
Also, bitches are old. I'm tired. I'm not going back out in these.
That's also true. No, that's also true.
He went to that one party. He was like, I'm done. You coming back, bitch? You done? You done? You had fun? Great.
I like how she's like, close up, he was purple.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
So now she's back at her parents' house, and she finds out that it's the Darcys, and they're having they're getting a renewal of their vows. I was gonna say vowels, but vows. And so her mom lets it slip that Mark's wife actually cheated with the best friend and blah blah blah. So she finally finds out the truth, and she's like, yo, we gotta get to the Darcys immediately. I gotta go find my man and let him know.
And this was cute. They were driving, and she's like, "You're not driving fast enough," and she switched so she could drive. I thought that was really funny.
And they get to the house. It's a huge party, and she can't quite. She's trying to talk to Mark alone, and then she finds out Mark and that stick figure bitch are going to America. They're going to be working in America, and so she tries to let him know that she's not with Daniel and that she's available for him to do a popover or whatever. She loves him, but she doesn't say it, Mark has the same stone cold face on as usual. No emotion, doesn't show or anything. And then, of course, Bridget has to make a fucking awkward ass speech at the damn wedding. Again, embarrassing herself in front of potential in-laws.
Yeah.
Well, she just yells, "No!" And then everyone looks at her, and she's like,
I mean, no, because I don't want you to leave. It will be sad for England. For all of England, it will be to lose some good people, lawyers, and also I'm going to go now and go hang out with a different party.
So Bridget then goes home, after the party and everything. She's discouraged, and she's gonna start probably singing again. Her friends
take her on a mission. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
They were gonna take
go to
her on
Paris
holiday
for the weekend.
Yes.
Right, that's it. I think I just wrote down, what is this friend mission? Because I stopped paying attention.
So they were preventing her from being sad and alone. And so she's packed and she's ready to go. And that's when Mark comes up to the house, and her friends are honking on her and teasing or whatever. And so they get the drift. She's not coming with. And Mark said that he forgot to kiss her goodbye. And that's why he's back. And they don't get to kiss because their friends interrupt prior, but then they decide to go upstairs, and she knows she's about to fuck the fuck out of this man, so she needs to go and take a shower and get ready for
and
this.
Put her good panties on.
Yes, she is not going to be caught out in these streets with granny panties with Mr. Mark Darcy. So she goes to go get change, but then realizes that she left her diary open, and then hears the door close. So in Bridget fashion, she forgets that she has no pants on and decides to go run and say, try to stop Mark, because she thinks that he has read all the descriptions of him in her diary. Yeah. And she has no panties on, and she catches him, and he's like,
no, she has panties on, just no pants.
No pants. No pantalones.
Correction. But I love this because she comes back in oh, it's cold. And you're she realizes she doesn't have clothes on. She's going to get clothes on. No, she just puts on shoes and a cardigan and not the full thing because she's in too much of a hurry. And I thought that was really adorable.
And she catches up with Mark, and she's profusely apologizing to him and just saying, it's just a diary. I didn't mean half of that stuff. And again, typical Mark Darcy fashion. He's like, yeah, I know. I saw you were almost done, and I got you a new one.
I love him so. Why didn't you just tell me before I ran out in the cold
with my panties
to get frozen to death?
Well, he didn't.
But
know
then it wouldn't be so. He didn't know she was going to do that. He wasn't thinking about that. That's very fair. But it was so cute.
Takes his jacket and covers her, and they make out. Yeah. And then she says, "Wait a minute. Nice guys don't kiss like this," and he's like, "Yeah, the fuck they do."
And they fucking do.
Yes, I love.
Yeah, he got me there.
And
yes,
fake snow
romance. in the future. I don't know. Hold on. The last thing I wrote was, "This does not pass the Bechdel test. Goodbye."
No, it does not.
No,
Which is
but it still
really
is,
sad.
It still has a lot of cuteness.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
The
that it
Bechdel test
doesn't.
wasn't there around yet.
But it should have, okay, because it's a female director.
Yep.
You know, there were two male writers and a female writer. I don't know how much she was able to kind of pull. Richard Curtis, who I believe is behind Love Actually and all the other movies that he's
All
made.
those.
But yeah, it should have been able to pass. Which
Imagine if it had been a male director, how it would have been. I think like
Yikes.
you think about like then, I'm trying to give people credit, you know, because it's like then that's what we are coming off of. Like this was like not. It was even more rare to have a female director then. So it's like, you know, they were just doing the things that they best knew how to do under, you know, the executives. They're like, this is how things have to be done to make money, and all of these other obstacles. And, you know, so there were some moments that definitely were, because when you said as a female director, I didn't know that until you said it. And I was thinking about it and I was like, that does check out.
Mm-hmm.
I like, there are some things in this that I was like, yeah, it's the 90s, but yeah, I could see how it was a female director for sure.
Well, the Bridget Jones's entire franchise, it became the first movie trilogy directed exclusively by female directors, as well as the only romantic comedy trilogy of the new millennium. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess when we do the second one, we'll see if it gets better.
That was the other thing I wrote after this was they made multiple of these movies.
They sure did. Because
They sure did.
you know what?
It did well. It did really well.
Because the bitches like me eating that shit.
Yeah. I get it.
up.
I get it. I get it. Especially if you read the books, like
Yeah.
that creates even more of an attachment to this character.
And that's Bridget Jones's Diary, guys.
Yeah.
Did it.
Renée Zellweger in Chicago.
What other fun facts did we miss? There's like a ton. Let's talk about all the actresses that were considered for Bridget. There were so many.
Yeah, holy shit.
Missed.
Everybody.
Helena Bonham Carter, Kate Blanchett, Emily Watson, Rachel Weisz, who they said was considered too beautiful for the role, Cameron Diaz, Toni Collette. Out of all these names, I really
Toni Collette.
Toni Collette.
Yeah,
I agree.
This justice, but she declined because she was on
She was
Broadway.
doing the Wild Party, which was such a good musical.
Kate Winslet, I could also see in this role, and I could also see them wanting to do it, but I'm very thankful they didn't because
she was too young.
She was too young, but they already were giving that poor woman so many body image issues that I feel like it would have been worse.
Yeah.
100%. Now, the reason the book started was from a column in the newspaper, and she kind of like compiled the stories from that to make the book. But in her mind, this was always going to be an adaptation of Pride and Prejudice. And in her mind, the role of Mark Darcy was always Colin Firth, even when she joked about it. So the fact that she actually got him to do, they got him to do it was amazing because she literally wrote it for him.
I wonder how much they paid him.
Good question. I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably like double what they paid Renée. But yeah, no, I'm so glad they did because he was great.
Yeah.
He was really great.
Perfect.
I know we touched on it earlier, but I love the fact that when Renée Zellweger, not only did she go and work at a PR firm or wherever, she had her alter ego, Bridget Cavendish, and she answered phones, served coffee, made photocopies without being recognized, like we said. But she also kept a photo of Jim Carrey, her then boyfriend, on her desk. Like, there was no one in that office like, is that Renée Zellweger? Like, that looks an awful like Renée Zellweger, and she's currently dating Jim Carrey.
Right.
Like, no one reads like Us Weekly.
And at this point, she had already been in Empire Records, Jerry Maguire. Like, she was well known. It just didn't make any sense. But it could have, even in England, I think she should have been more well known at that point for it to just go by. Maybe, I mean, it's hard to believe. Like, imagine you go to work and there's just like an actress, there. I would have been like, maybe it's not. I don't know.
Yeah.
You talked about the fight scene improvised. I wonder how long it took them to truly improvise a fight scene. You have to know fight scenes, and I imagine they both do enough. But it's interesting to me, and I wonder how long it took to actually get through all the fight. If it was fully improvised, it's interesting to me. I'm
sure they might have, worked on like choreography.
They worked on like they probably were like, here are like the shot, here are the angles we need, what's happening here and what's happening here, and they just figured it out, which says a lot about them as actors if they're able to do that well and efficiently and quickly. But I can't imagine it probably took some time for them to get through that. Without the coordinators, it takes longer. Everything takes longer.
I'm sure they had coordinators, because they also, the scene where they go through the window, that was stunt doubles.
Oh yeah, they have stunt people for sure, and they have like probably a coordinator, but like to not have it like rehearsed and choreographed, like that's interesting. That's interesting to me. I'm just impressed.
And
really.
Then they did it again in the second movie. I'm not sure if that one was as improvised, but they do fight again in a fountain, and then in the second.
Wait, what's this thing about Chardonnay?
Yeah, it's so weird.
So,
Bridget Jones' characters was accused for the decline in sale of Chardonnay. Why would she be accused of the decline of it? They wouldn't want to be like her.
So they believe that Chardonnay used to be considered like a classy,
a white wine,
fun, high level, and I think they just think it was cheapened or something.
That's so interesting.
And I'm sure there's a real reason behind it, and they just wanted to make news or stupid. I don't know.
I remember how what was that wine movie with what's his butt, where Pinot Noir got Sideways, changed the sale of things. Lighting is crazy. I remember hearing that everyone's drinking this now because of Sideways. So it can be influential. It's just sucks that it was influential against her. Not,
The snowy scenes during the end of this movie were filmed during the summertime, so those were all fake snowflakes. Also for the parents' house, and the snowy scenes at the beginning and the end of the film were inspired by It's a Wonderful Life. And the Darcy estate is filmed at Rotham Park in Hertfordshire, where Gosford Park and Kingsman, the Secret Service, were also shot. I don't know if I said that
American.
Right. I know.
Hertfordshire. Worcestershire.
Also, working title films were very smart. They acquired the film rights of the novel in '97 before it became a bestseller. But they as soon as they saw that the column itself was being turned into a movie because that was popular, that's what made them jump. And not because they were super smart, and not smart, but super psychic and knowing that it was going to be a hit.
Did we talk about the end scene?
No.
The credits?
You take the lead.
Gosh, it's so troubling. So it shows what is a home movie of the incident that they talk about the whole movie, which is her naked in his paddling pool. And apparently it's someone's birthday, his birthday. It's at his house.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. He's in a suit and bow tie, and he's delicately eating chocolate cake. She has a whole quarter of the cake she's just shoving in her mouth. She is a little tiny hot mess. And then she has I don't know, party blowers, straws. She has something, and she's just waving them around all crazy. He's literally just all prim and proper off to the side. And then they show her pulling off her dress, getting into the pool, and he's just kind of side-eyeing her. And I hate that they made that little girl eat that cake to show that she was an overeater at a young age.
Yeah.
Like, it's so
I don't like it.
I hate this end scene altogether. It never made me happy. Ever. I was like, I want to see them together. You know, because at the time,
that's what we want to see.
At the time, I didn't know they were going to make a sequel, right? So, like, for me, we didn't really, if you think about it, we saw more of Darcy and Bridget. I mean, we saw more of Bridget and Daniel together as a couple, but I never really got to see Mark and Bridget as a couple. Yeah. And that's what I wanted to see. And instead I see this child pornography at the end. I'm not happy. But they calmed me down. They said, you know what, Danielle in the United States is very upset. We have to make this a trilogy to calm her down.
Yeah, and it worked.
It did.
It worked to calm you down.
But this movie does have different end credits in different countries. In Europe, Australia, and Latin America, the credits show a montage of stills plus interviews about Bridget and Darcy with Daniel Cleaver, Mark Darcy's parents, and Bridget's boss. In the US, they show a young Bridget and Mark running around the backyard in the paddling pool in a home video. Why the fuck? Who made this? Why? Release the tape.
Horrific. And like the way they say at some point, he says something like they sexualize themselves as children in a scene at her birthday. Or like when they're cooking, doesn't he says something like, she was like a little perverted. He's like, oh God, I sure hope so. It's like, what? Why?
It's not.
That's not
good.
cute. It's not cute. You were children. Anyway, that was really awful.
Yeah, and she was 4 and he was 8. Like, it wasn't even like, like little adolescent crush. Like, she was still.
No, it was like really messed up that they kept talking about that so much. I'm like, the writer, we need to keep an eye on them. Yeah, I don't know, maybe not that far, but it's just like they thought that was a funny joke, and it's not a funny joke.
No.
All right, well, before we get to the ratings, Gwen, again, if you guys, haven't gone and listened to the trailer, you need to make sure you go and check that out. Catch up with Gwen, see what she's been up to.
Yeah, it's like probably right before this on your platform that you're listening on. Just like, it's not that hard. You can do it.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, we hate this bitch.
Never.
You're gonna hate me even. You're gonna hate me even more in a minute.
Wait. So why don't you tell them how they can find you on social?
You can go to Instagram. You can find me as Gwendolyn Instagram. Gwendolyn Instagram. On TikTok, I am Gwen Carroll with an E at the end. That's about it.
And you guys can check us out at No More Late Fees on Instagram, Facebook, Tits Pervert, Twitter, and YouTube.
Yeah, you said it.
So proud of herself.
I was like, I want to type something.
Excellent job.
Thanks so much. Thanks for making my night.
Well, go ahead and kill my dreams, Gwen. Tell me what the rating is.
So look, like I have a hard time rating anything trash and calling any movie trash. And even if it's like actual trash, like really bad movies are like, to me, amazing in so many ways. I have too much respect for filmmaking. I have too much respect for, and this isn't trash. This isn't trash because there were some really funny things. There was some really good acting. The cast was great. There were some good things happening, and it's an iconic film. So I'm gonna rate it. I'm gonna give it a little bit of credit, aside from its problematicness, and give it a 2. What are the 2? Is it a 2-day rental? Is that the second to lowest? So I'm gonna give it a 2-day rental. If this movie were made now, I would be like, this is so bad.
Problematic.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was made in I understand its history, and I understand how important it was at the time, and I see how far we've come. It's a good place. It's a good thing to reflect from. You get it. It's perfect. So 2-day rental, all to say. Yeah, not my favorite, but it's fine.
Well, I know that, I think with more reflection and just knowing that there's some problematic stuff, I get it. I acknowledge it. And it made me, doing the episode made me really have like a hard look at the movie. So for me, the rating is would buy it again. No problems. This movie is perfect.
You
fucking love this movie.
You're allowed to love a movie. You're allowed to love it. This is not the worst movie to love. For me, I was too annoyed with things.
I know.
To see straight. But I get it. And we love you.
This is definitely one of those, I imprinted on the movie. So it's I can't even.
Yeah, it's like such a part of your life. It was like a part of your journey as a human.
Yeah.
Too much. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
But I am aware of the problematic nature. There are stuff now that I find to be triggering. I get it.
Yeah, for sure.
Jackie?
It's the same Y2K Jackie and current day Jackie are on the same wavelength. I'm giving it a 2-day rental along with Gwen.
Yeah,
that's fine. Yeah. That's cool.
The hair though. They really spent some time teasing that hair.
Well, if you have opinions on Bridget Jones's Diary, hit us up at our quick drop 909-601 NMLF 909-601-6653. Twat us at the Twitters or leave a voicemail on our Anchor FM account, and you can be featured on a future episode.
And join us next week as we celebrate the 20th anniversary of Deliver Us from Eva. Very excited about that one.
And as always, be kind and rewind.
Yay!
Yay!